What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is Willow Beach. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, today's video is not going to be me showing you how to catch fish out there. No, rather than that, I'm going to make my way out to fish Willow Beach. It's a particular spot where you can either have a very good day, catch lots of fish, or a very bad day, catch nothing. The idea behind this video, after 4 years of practicing in the Las Vegas ponds, I want to see whether I can get out there and get on some fish. Now, of course, I'm not talking about catching some big stripers or carp or anything. I'm talking specifically about some stocked trout. And a little over a week and a half ago, they stocked this particular place with some big trout, some trophy fish. I'm looking to see if I can get on any decent sized fish, a lot bigger than the normal stockers I get in the local park ponds. All right, but let's not waste time. Let's get down there and start fishing. All right, ladies and gents, I wanted to start today's mission just south of the marina where they launched the kayaks. My idea was fishing off of these rocks into the water where you can see the fish swimming around. But as you can see, there's a lot more water. This is now again an island, not a little mountain that I can just climb. So once again, lots of water around, meaning the spot I wanted to fish, where I wanted to get close to fish, cannot do that. So I think we're going to have to move around, find another spot, somewhere where you can see some fish. It is, however, good to see that the river, especially Willow Beach, has this much water again. Alright, so the fishing pier is a great place if you want to get into deep water, maybe try for some of the stripers out there if you don't have boat or kayak. But at the moment, when I'm trying to find any of the trout, I'm not seeing any trout near the pier. And the problem is, if I'm going to have any chance of finding any fish, I need to find the fish. If I cannot see any fish, then it's probably not the right spot. So I'm not going to go near the pier. I think maybe walking around, looking perhaps closer to the little hatchery. Maybe they have some fish around there. Alright, so close to the little hatchery, we do have some fish down there swimming around. So I'm thinking maybe this is a better spot. Let's go throw out some lures, see if we get any fish down there. There we go, guys, decent one. Unfortunately, I left my net in the car at the moment, so let's see if we can land this guy without a net. There we are. A little trout landed. Just want to quickly wet my hands. Yeah. I think I'm going to keep him. Alright, guys. Not a bad size for this batch of stockers. Was going to release this one, but he's got hooked in the gills a bit, so I'm thinking I'm going to keep this one. We're not going to release him. Finally got him on a little jerk bait. So I think at the moment these fish are no longer interested in power baits, and they seem quite lethargic. They're looking at the baits, but they're not attacking. So that is why I'm going for some swimming type baits, something I can swim slowly in the water, hoping that these fish would rather go for that. I'm using some woolly buggers at the moment. It's been working pretty well for me. And rather than swimming it through the water, I'm trying to cast in front of the fish and let it sink very slowly. Once you move it, they're no longer interested. It feels that if you move the little woolly bugger, they're not interested in it. They want the slow falling thing in front of their face. Luckily these fish are in shallow. No need for me to be making massive casts. It's more of a precision, try and get the fly in front of the fish's face without spooking him. Our water keeps receding. A little fish on the stringer, he's no longer in the water. I have to constantly keep moving him, so the water level is dropping some. And I managed to catch a little tree. Alright guys, I think we got one on fly. But if I'm not mistaken, I think this one is rather snagged. He went for it, and as I set the hook, I could see the hook moving. So I don't think he's hooked in the mouth, but we do have him hooked. Important with the flies to try and keep the tension on. Ah, he popped off. When trying to keep the tension on and the fish is swimming away, he needs to be able to take out line. He wasn't able to. My little fly is stuck in that fish, but no harm to him. That little hook will rust out. So that's now the third fish I've lost today. One on fly, one on little worm, and one on the jerkbait. But hey, at least we still got one fish at least. Alright ladies and gents, what fun I did have out there. Now, I didn't make my way to the cove out here behind me. Particular spot has lots of people in it. I'm thinking that's where most of the fish are circling around, but I didn't want to disturb their fishing, so rather than that, I went to some other spots. Now that being said, when you can see the fish around you, it's a lot more fun to try and target these fish, especially if you can see how they're reacting to your lures. But I did make quite a lot of casts out there today. Also swapped to a large amount of different lures, seeing how the fish reacted to them. In the end, I lost a total of 5 fish. I only managed to catch the one. The first fish I lost because my drag was too loose. And after that, troubles with hook setting and troubles with landing the fish. Now when they stuck these fish, people were catching them on the power baits. Power baits weren't helping out there today. After speaking to some of the other anglers, it's rather difficult to catch these fish. They look at your lures, they follow your lures, they just don't commit. So getting that reaction strike out of them, that's important. And when the reaction strikes are far and few in between, you need to be on your game. You need to be able to set the hook and catch the fish. Or, like me, you're going to lose quite a lot of fish out there and lose your chances. Alright, but with that being said, we did manage to catch some fish out there. Quite a nice, decent male. Unfortunately, he got gill hooked and he was bleeding quite a lot. So I didn't think of releasing that fish, and he did die very shortly afterwards. So we're going to have a lovely meal out of that little fish. Alright, but that's going to do for this video. I wanted to see if I can get some big stocker trout, and I was successful in that. So I want to thank you for following me on this trip. Please do give me a little thumbs up for catching that fish. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, consider doing so, hitting the big red subscribe button, joining my community. Alright, that's it. Thank you for following, guys, and like always, see you next time.